All right, let's get a couple things set here. Whoops, this is not the page we want to be on. Good morning, everybody. Morning, at least in the part of the world where I am. Hope everybody had happy holidays thus far. Okay. Got a special stream today. Whoop. Bounce this one here. All of this stuff that way. I have finished building, soldering mostly, the cowbell sequencer. So shout out, huge thanks, huge hug report to DJ Devin3 on Discord and GitHub. This is who designed this device. DJ Devin was kind enough to send one to me. I got it put together. I've got the base code on it, and I have just started tinkering with changing the base code to do some other stuff. So I figured I would pop the stream on and play with it on here for a bit. I will see. All right, I'm going to keep OBS over here for a minute because I'm not entirely sure all the audio is going to work right, but hopefully we've got everything routed correctly. So let's first, let me show you what is here so far. So with the code that came with it in the repo, it has the lights in there where it will basically cycle through this whole line here and blink each one of these things. And then if you press a button, it will turn that one on. And then I tweaked it ever so slightly, but I think the idea is still the same. If the light's on when it gets to that one in the row there, then it will turn off instead of on, so that the motion still tracks, right? It's still kind of in your brain. It just tracks as the thing going across there, even though sometimes it's on, sometimes it's off. To that, I have added, and I was going to say, I heard mention Nearadoc maybe worked on this as well. To that, I have added only something very basic, which is I added a play note, which this was async code. And the way it works is there's a read buttons task, essentially, and a blink LEDs task. I have added a blink the LEDs, I guess, is it not a task? It's just an async def. I'm not putting it here, but I am calling it inside of this one. So the way the code works roughly is inside blink the LEDs, this is gonna be your blink rate. This is a while true loop. This is gonna be looping over all of the pins in the list as they go through here. There are X and Y because there's two expander chips. MCP, what is it, 30017 or something like that? These two big expander chips here, those are I2C chips, and they have a bunch of pins each, and so the buttons are split up. Half the buttons are on one of those, half the buttons are on the other one. So X, Y are the chip and the index on that chip. so we're inside the while true loop. We're looping over all of those. For each one, we're checking if get latch is basically telling us whether or not the light should be on for that one. So if the light's off when it gets to this one, then get latch is going to be false. If the light is on when it gets to this one, then get latch is going to be true. So when it calls that function, it will get true or false. If it got false, it's going to go in here. It's going to set this to on. It's going to turn the LED to on. It's going to wait a teeny tiny amount of time, and then it's going to turn the LED back off. And then it is going to sleep for the rest of the delay. Else, if it was true, if this get latch was true, i.e. the LED is on when it gets to it, it will print the index, it will turn the LED to off, it will call this new one that I created, await play note, and then it will await for it, and after it's done, then it will turn the LED back on. So LED off, call play note. Once we get done with all of that, then LED comes back on. Inside play note, it just has MIDI, the most basic MIDI setup that I stole from the simple test. MIDI is set up here. Right now it's just sending C4, waiting for a delay, and then sending C4 off. Basically play the note whenever the light turns off in the sequence. This is sending the note out the USB port, so ultimately this is sending it back to the computer. In my case, what I have done is use this LMMS software, which is LMMS Easy Music Production for Everyone. I don't know what the actual name is. We'll go to their website for a second. Sharing platform? Oh. Make music. Let's make music S. I don't know. I don't know the name. If that's an acronym or what? Maybe it's not an acronym. Maybe it's just called LMMS. Anyway, it's like music authoring program. You know, PyCharm is to Python programs. LMMS is to songs, is to music, basically. It's got beats and instruments, and it's open source. It's cross-platform. I don't know if it's actually open source. It looks like it says here. So all of this seems cool. This is the program that I'm feeding the MIDI into. The way that it works is you have these things here. The only one right now that's really hooked up that we care about is this triple oscillator. If I turn this to on, and also try to set up the cameras here a little bit. Right. If we turn this on with this thing, it should be hopefully making those sounds come through to the stream. I don't have a super easy way to verify, but hopefully that's coming through. OBS certainly thinks it is, so that's a good start. And right now I have 4 lights on, so it's like doot 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 doot. Get rid of much of them, and we'll only play this one. So, super basic, but that's what we got so far. If anyone is interested in replicating this, I did have to choose in here input, and then I chose the device. It looks like I could output MIDI to it as well. So, like, theoretically, this software could be sending MIDI back out to the Pico, in this case, Pico W. The Pico W could be consuming it and doing stuff with it, or passing it along to other devices, or who knows what. How's it going, Dexter? Nice, thank you. Appreciate the heads up. Getting the LMMS audio on YouTube. Sweet. That means we should be good to go on it then. If it's too loud or anything, let me know. I can mess with the. I had to set up a gain filter inside OBS. It was like incredibly quiet originally. At least it seemed to be that way in the recordings. So I am gonna kind of just play with the software a bit. How's it going, Axel? I'm gonna play with the software a bit. Right now, it is like The only part of this that I added to this was the play note right here. Right now it's just hard-coded to C4. It's always going to use the same attack speed or something. I don't know. I forget what this is. But they're hard-coded, whatever it is. So, yeah. I want to make it to where we can have control over this. There's lots of, there's these buttons, which as far as I know are not used yet. There's the rotary encoder, which I don't think is used yet. So I want to build some kind of scheme where you can kind of modify what the notes and things are on the LEDs that are turned on. I don't know exactly how it'll work, but maybe the buttons or the rotary somehow allow you to select the buttons that are on, and then you can up, down the note or something. That's kind of the most basic version of what I'm thinking. So we'll play with that. We'll make some beep boops. We'll play with some more sounds. We'll just kind of tinker with it a bit. Right now, I don't think I am using MIDI in from the microcontroller's perspective. This software, like I said, it has the ability to send MIDI out from this software's perspective, which would then be into the microcontroller. I don't think I'm using it. I'm going to take this out and just see if it still works. Okay. Oh, wrong browser. Browser are we on? Okay, the last one. Try to get used to that. Okay, that does seem fine. There's also different instruments in here we can play with. We'll pull all that kind of stuff out later as well. So right now the only structure that holds whether or not the LEDs are on is basically whatever backs getLatch. When you call getLatch, it does a lookup inside latches. Latches are true-false, I think, in here. Let's print this out and see if it's true-false. I think that it is. Where should we print it? Be at the beginning of this loop. I don't think I have TO connected yet. Yeah, no, not yet. Okay, yeah, those are true-false. They'll be true if it's on, they'll be false if it's not. So I want more data than that. I want to be able to store a note in addition to true-false. So we either extend the data structure that's there to store multiple things, or we make a new data structure that is in the same order to store other stuff. I think I lean towards option 2. So let's say we are gonna have notes, which is also a list. It's gonna hold none times 16 to start with. When you turn a thing on, which is technically only when this goes to true, actually. Maybe calculate that into a variable and store it. Oh, right, the problem is the toggling, right? Is it a problem? It's not really a problem, I guess, but it's something to deal with. So we want to set this to either a note or none based on whether this ended up being true or not. The right syntax? So this will set it, and then this will say if it's true, make this C4. If it's not true, then make it none. Let's try, instead of latches, let's print notes. Okay. Perfect. If I switch this, is it bad? On top of it, scoot it up. Further away? No, we'll just keep it the other way. So I probably want this one big anyway. So then when it's time to play, we should pull the note to play out of notes, which is when we call play note. Should probably, I guess, be passing the note also. I think I might ultimately change these from X and Y to like chip and index, maybe? So it's like one will be 0 and 1 based on which MCP it's on, and the other one will be indexed as 0 through 7, whether it's like, you know, the buttons 1 through 8, essentially, or 9 through 15 or whatever. 9 through 18, I guess, if we're counting on 1. So this will now play whatever note you tell it. Of course, we're still telling it C4 all the time, so nothing that interesting is happening yet. Okay, so let's say now we have a concept of a selected index. Starts on -1, starts on none, basically. When you first, so I think whenever you turn one on, it should become the selected one. I think. We'll see. Maybe once I play with it, I won't feel that way, but we'll see. Let's start like that. So when you turn one on, it's going to become selected. So it's kind of in here. We're doing a lot of stuff inside toggle latch. We probably should not be, I guess, maybe. It's kind of another one of these, essentially. Maybe we should do it like this for now. I don't know why I didn't copy this. We're committed. Okay. I almost want a way to see the one that's selected also. It's very shouty Python code. We already have blink the LEDs. We should, maybe we'll rename that one eventually, like sequence blink or something. Because this one's blink selected LED, but I'll just say blink selected for now. Delay, I guess we'll make it a variable. This one is while true. It's pretty much just... Oh, we need a... Yep, I almost want to make a list that's just one list instead of XY. Because we basically need the reverse of this. And is the reverse of this. Must be a way to do it with division. But in my head it's coming out to like -8. And then if you -8 and stayed positive, then x becomes 1 and y becomes the remainder. So I guess it's like selected index divided by 8 truncated to an int, and then y is selected index %, remainder divide, which is not called that, but you know, % divide, whatever that's called. I don't know. That's probably not the best name, but so we're going to be returning a tuple. Doesn't matter, I guess, but so integer divide by 8, and then I am still trying to blank on remainder divide. We have the reverse maybe as well. Chip an index to index. Turn that off. Sleep for delay. Turn it back on. So this one runs on its own beat. Is really fast, and it just blinks the one that is selected. I wonder if selected could change. This is probably not going to work, right? Selected needs to be on an object or something. And I wonder, could selected change during here? Hopefully not. Although we also don't want the user to not be able to change it. Oh, I didn't give it to the task thing. That not have been time sleep? One uses a time sleep. Maybe it should have been this kind of sleep. Okay, that's running this time. So let's make sure the one we think is supposed to be selected is. I don't see it blinking, but it might be blinking too fast to be perceptible. Oh. Yeah. Selected index didn't change. Because it's not global. Tried to do it in here. It needs to either be global or be on an object. Probably we should just put it on an object. Honestly, probably all of these things should be on an object, like state object maybe. Did it have a init? Yeah. It's created inside main. We have a main? Yeah. Okay. Be back in just a second. These don't think they can see state? Get passed in or interval? Yeah, it gets passed in, okay. Play, state, state, state. Oh. Dude. Just can't go second. State's not defined. Right. This should also have state. Closer. Here we go. There we go. So now the one that is actually selected is like hyper blinky. And whenever I turn a new one on, it becomes the selected one. So let's make it so we can select with this, and then maybe you can enter to change the note or something. Oh, it stays blinky. Right. It should only do that if it only do that if it's on. I think maybe this was not the best name for this. This is awfully large and convoluted. Kept doing it. Not actually sure why it kept going. Well, now. Oh, got value. Enough. Didn't crash, but it's not doing anything. So my theory is that when this is false, it's like basically not letting anything else happen because it's running too fast. Not sleeping. There we go. Okay. So for some reason that LED is on when I'm thinking it should be off. And that's causing it to basically keep blinking. I think let's just skip checking if the LED is on instead and check our notes. Selected index. It's not none. Because that'll go back to none when it gets turned off. Oh, interesting. It actually gets off and then, well, it when I press it to turn it off, it stays on until it cycles through and then it's normal. So when we turn it off, we should flip the LED back to false. Well, I don't know though, because this calls toggle latch, and then sets LED pin dot value get latch. And the state seems correct because when it cycles through again, it's turning off. That would imply that this is not actually working. Setting LED to false. So then the blink selected leaves it on. Selected key should blink 75%. No, the way I'm doing it, you can't select ones that are off. I mean, that's a perfectly valid way to do it as well, but the scheme I have in mind, you just only select the ones that are on. That way that we don't have to have different blinks, hopefully, at least not for that. So the blink selected is leaving it on, we're ending up, which I guess makes sense because by the time this finishes, that is on. So our problem is this turns it on probably after we turn it off. Here. Inside toggle latch is where I made it set the note inside of our list. The toggle latch go up here. Oh. I don't really want to do this, but I guess. Set it back to false. Selection should probably change when you deselect one. It should jump to somewhere. Worry about that later, though. I think that's a more minor detail. Let's see if we can make the rotary encoder change the selected index. I don't believe the rotary encoder is hooked up the code at all yet. No, doesn't look like it. Ooh. Which also... brings me to the realization I have no idea what pin the rotary encoder is connected to. I don't know what pin the rotary encoder is on. Well, actually, we need 2 pins. Well, we need a total of 3 pins, I think, actually, right? Because it should use 2 for the rotary encoder to determine going up or down, And then it should also have one because it's a button in addition. Although I guess, could they be on the MCP? They could be on the MCP. So it does say SW1 on the rotary encoder. Is that the same SW1 as here? Ooh. Well, I do not know. Might have to just ask DJ Devin. An unused pin. So it's not on GPIOs 0 through 9. I want to say there's a circuit diagram. It's not quite a circuit diagram. One second. Put this back, but I gotta look at something. Let me see. Sorry. This isn't very exciting, but gotta do a little bit of work. Okay, sorry. Done with that. Back to this. We go to a, I was gonna say we could try to be sneaky and follow, but this just kind of goes to somewhere. $22? Maybe? Came from one of these? Assume maybe the middle one's ground. I don't know where this one stops here and comes out. I guess maybe here? 21? 21 and 22 would make sense. Is there like a... flip deck? $360? I don't know what these are. WRL? Easy Ada? Fusion 360? Possibly Fusion... Does Fusion 360 know about circuits? Matic? It's linked to the wrong place. I saw this the other day, though. Actually, what's the, I did see the Oshwa link somewhere the other day. Wiring diagram. Okay, so we have rotary A, rotary B. We'll worry about switch after. Let's just get the rotary working with rotary A, rotary B. I was wrong on 21 and 22. It looks like 19 and 18. I think there should be rotary encoder in here, probably. No, we'll look somewhere else. Could maybe add rotary encoder. Nice. I mean, it's digital. Rotary I/O, I guess. Rotary encoder in CircuitPython. So we're going GP 18 and 19. Don't know which one's up or which one's down. Just encoder.position. Cool. I think that was our 0 right there. So I'm actually going to make a because basically we want to go. So like I said before, I want it to be, it's basically going to cycle through ones that are on, so it needs to like count upwards until it finds the next one that's on. But it needs to wrap back around eventually as well. If once we find one where it's not none, then we're just done. Then the selected index becomes the checking index. Checked plus equal 1. We need to wrap this also. Modulus division, that's what that's called. This is probably not the best way to do this, but honestly, if we found it, then we don't care. Basically, increment this again. Okay, we need to, I guess, make an encoder reader as well, though. This one doesn't really need a delay. It can have a state, though, because it will need to change the selected index. This for decrement is pretty much all the exact same, except minus here, and then I don't know if the modulus is gonna work. I sure hope it is. Nice. I think that's what we want, yeah. See if we even get encoder changes. Nope. Oh. I know why. Well, I know at least one reason why, which is that we didn't actually put it in here. Get nothing. Not actually doing anything either. I'm missing a while true, and I guess also probably a sleep and some stuff like that, honestly. Yeah. Hmm. Oh, we're never changing last position. Hmm. Turn off other prints. Why is it? Where did that come from? Check for a missing a wait. Six. It's just inside main here. Feed encoder. Is it supposed to await decrement position? It's not. Or? As you can probably tell, I'm not very practiced with async IO. let's just get rid of that. Let's get down to, are we even reading the encoder or not? Let's not even care about this. Honestly, that stuff doesn't matter. Because I'm not awaiting? I see, okay. Yeah. That's changing fine. Cur selected is changing. Cur position or whatever. The problem is that last position doesn't change. Well, one problem. These were not actually the issue, were they? Not sure why that pointed into one of those, but yeah. Last position actually needs to be on state, truthfully. Oh my goodness. We never did update it. Added it to state, but then didn't actually change it. There we go. Okay, so now we see it change. And right now, turning left is going up and turning right is going down, which feels backwards. So I'm just going to swap the pins. There we go. Going right, now it goes up. Going left, goes down. Does the actual selecting work? Maybe, but it broke something. Huh. It's like frozen. Would it get stuck in decrement? Oh, this needs to break. Because if we found it, we don't need to keep checking. Means probably this one needs to break too. Nice. And it wraps. Sorry. Okay. So now I want, so now we can select one of the beats that's on. Now I want to, I guess you will press this, or should it be press one of these? I mean, press the encoder feels more natural. What was the encoder switch on? Whoops. Are we using debouncer already? No. You have digital I/O, but not actually directly. Makes sense, I guess, because we're using this thing. I think I'm gonna use debouncer. Full. Okay, so it's physically connected to ground, which means we want to pull it up. Put our button. Coder button pin. GP20. So now let's also go state. We want to have a state mode. Mode equals selecting index. Selecting index. Mode will be able to change to selecting note and then back and forth. So read encoder. Here we'll say if state.mode equals selecting index. Otherwise we'll do something different. Equals selecting index. Elif selecting note then it will go up and down the note, and honestly, we should probably not use C4 like this. We should find the number that equals C4. Middle C is 60. C4. We're going to put 60 in there instead of C4. And then if we're in the selecting note state, when we have scrolled to the right, we're going to go state.notes, state.selectedIndex, plus equal what? Is it ever going to be none? Because we're setting them back to none. But if it's none, then it won't be selected, so... I don't know. I think we're okay. Let me also do turn back on print notes so we can actually see what our notes are doing visually. Decrement selected. Oh, this is old. See, there we go. Okay, we're just running fine. So far, at least. Oh. I didn't have it change the modes. So close. Yet so far away. Honestly, we didn't even read the button, did we? Basically, want to go in here and go if encoder button dot fell. Then state mode equals selecting note if state.mode equals selecting index else selecting index. So that will toggle it back and forth. Print changing mode. Print changed mode to state mode. Oh, doesn't work. Encoder button dot fell. We're not calling encoder dot update. Encoder button dot update. Update. There we go. Selecting note. Ah, there we go, 59. Ah. That's awesome. Okay. Now that we have that, let's also play with a little bit of different instruments, but Deep Beep with Tim. Yeah, I like it. Nice. Before I jump into more instruments, I actually got to run to the restroom. Be back in just a second. Okay. As fate would have it, these are now charged. Lord only knows what. Let's get it due to the sound though. On the loud side. It's not coming out there anymore though. There we go. Okay. So I do not have much experience with this LMMS thing. Honestly, this is the first time I've messed with it. What I have found though is that there are instruments in here of different varieties, although they an instrument track. A lot of them tend to be synth. So like this, you have to turn this on for each of them. That one, I didn't actually hear anything. Looks like it's playing. Just crank the volume. Audio file processor? Is it pointed at a certain file? The use of master sample length. Huh. Save the current instrument track. Stable loop, reverse sample, linear. Open the, oh. Okay, this would be, I think, like, we had a sound effect. How's it going? Janisku. Say, can we get this one to run? There we go. So I think we need a file to run it with. So we're not hearing anything because we don't actually have a file. Let me look somewhere first. I think. Interesting. Okay, so that one will basically play tuned versions of whatever sample you give it. So I gave it a sample that was kind of like some jingles. Seems like something is muted. I'm not entirely sure when you said that. It has been muted a fair amount. I'm trying not to just keep it on and annoy the heck out of all of y'all, but that's what that one sounds like. And then I don't know that I have a great way. So yeah, I guess probably, I suppose probably you said that when I was running this. This won't come through to you, I don't think. This is in my ear, but not in the stream. Sounds like a steel drum. Yeah, that one was like a jingle steel. So there's a bunch of these different, I have a bunch of these as game assets. I think, I'm assuming the idea here is this would play a song if you played them all the way through at a certain tempo or something. Because, like, each one is more than one note. There's something that's like green. Interesting. Those are a bit too staticky. I don't actually hear anything for these. Very soft. Overpack. Okay, that should be fun. That should be fun. Okay, let's do that. Oh, it doesn't make it. It's too slow. Sample length 596 milliseconds. Ah, there we go. Stopping early. Amplify. I need like loopback point. I don't know how to slow it down. I mean, we could, if we changed our beat to not be as fast. We could do that, but it's not quite what I was hoping for. Oh well. Let's go back to some of these built-in ones. Needed to trim it. Yeah, I don't know how to use this stuff. I mean, this seems like it would work, but the thing is it's not running all the way through, and I think that's because our MIDI instrument, in this case the CircuitPython thing, is sending it the stop signal too fast. Oh, maybe that would work. Okay, that is not what I expected, but that's pretty awesome. Okay. That's fun. What was that? Enable ping pong loop. We could definitely have some fun with that at some point. Let's play with some of the built-in ones though, instead of the samples. I don't really have samples that are gonna be the right length, basically, to not be weird. Not that the weird ones aren't kind of fun too. Yeah, it's like really, really bad auto-tune. It's like auto-tune with jump cuts. Instead of any kind of like smooth gradient to change notes, it's just like smash cut from one note to another note as in part of the same word. It's very fascinating. Let's turn this one. I have no idea what this is like a Nintendo NES, so we'll see. Oh, that's pretty nice. I could close this because it's not actually playing anymore. what all of these do. I don't know what any of these do. Channel 1, channel 2. Yeah. That was mostly from detune. Coarse detune. Oh, that's an interesting effect. Where was... No, 4. Where was Matt? There it is. Volume. That down some. Let's get a something percussion-y. Mallets. Painful things to bang on. Oh, okay, that's... Oh, we made it to the end anyway, now that we're at the end of the list. Oh, this doesn't change anymore like that either. Weird, I was just clicking through that the whole time. Interesting, it lets you go to the end, but doesn't wrap around. Monsters 3 oscillator. Additive synthesizer. Oh. Vibrating string modeler? Oh. Make your own, tune? Oops. Oh, interesting. Each string has a... Wow, there are so many settings. That could be some video game music. That could be a video game tune. Needs a few more sections or something, but okay. Ooh, I think that might be about it for now. I could certainly sit here and play with these extra sounds all day. Oh, that's a nice one. Volume is a bit much, sorry. Oh, that's like brassy. They should have a randomize. There should just be a total, because, like, I mean, I don't know what any of this stuff is. For all intents and purposes, this is randomize. That one kind of clashes a bit. Gig player for gig files. I don't even know what a gig file is. Kicker. Doesn't really have a note. SFXer. Oh. Oh, you can replace. Interesting. Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds a lot like one of the other ones we had. It's in the Commodore. This one's like Commodore style. Kind of fun. Embedded Zine add sub. What's sign for oscillator? Compatible with patch instrument. There's Game Boy, this one. Oh, Bit Invader. Let's do that one too. Sounds pretty close to the other one, actually. The sine wave one. Let's do Game Boy. Ooh. Sounds very Nintendo. Can you play a different voice for each note? I'm not sure what you mean. Different voice. Not sure what you mean. Like have one of them be the Game Boy thing and one of them be the mallets and one of them be the triple oscillator. Are those the voices? If that is what you mean, somehow probably yes, but I do not know how. Mute, unmute? You could, yeah. So I'm gonna go with somehow yes. I'm pretty sure this software facilitates you doing that in some way. I do not know the way. Perhaps highlighting some sections like this and doing mute or unmute on that section for that voice could be one way to do it. Somehow you should be able to have these like recording? Or something like... Theoretically, there should be a way for me to like... Okay. The right one of these. So theoretically, I think there should be a way for me to set this up with a certain sequence, run it into here, and then get, you know, however many measures of it or whatever recorded, and then have that recording be one of these tracks. So like, I think I should be able to record a sequence of, you know, just mallets, let's say, at certain locations, and note, you know, note types like C4, C5, whatever, D3, whatever. And then redo it, like change the whole board out to a different one, keep the mallets one off in its own land, but then re-record a new one with Game Boy or whatever else. And then somehow you should be able to play them both on top of each other. So with that, you could essentially kind of like make a different sequence for each instrument. That being said, I am not to that point with this software yet. I do not know exactly how to do everything that I just said, but I suspect it should all be possible. Yep, play them all back at once on top of each other. Yep, or export it into some audio eventually. Yeah. So we will hopefully discover that together, or I will hopefully discover that on stream at some point, but yeah, no, I'm totally interested in doing it that way as well, truthfully. I have a lot to learn about the software, but I am interested in getting it figured out enough to do it that way. So I got to say again, thank you. Huge thanks to DJ Devin for the sequencer. It's been a lot of fun to play with so far, and I think we're only just beginning to scratch the surface of it. I just wrote the software to have it be able to play different notes. So there's obviously like still lots and lots of more interesting things we could have it do. Honestly, I don't know too much about the MIDI protocol myself, but maybe there's some... Can MIDI request like the instrument? Like, can the MIDI instrument tell the computer like, hey, play a C4, but not only play a C4, play it on, you know, instrument A as opposed to instrument B? And then the computer can have preset, you know, instrument A is this and instrument B is that. That might be another way mechanically to make that split occur, is like, if MIDI can tell the computer, I want to play this note and I want to play it, you know, on this instrument. I have no idea if that's a thing. Maybe that is or not, but if so, maybe that's a way to do it. We have the whole D-pad, which we haven't touched yet. I have not messed with these yet, the MIDI out and MIDI in. I've just been doing only USB. It's plugged into the computer over here, and it's just going back in through USB. But it would be kind of cool to play with these on some kind of external hardware as well. I believe there's a way to do that. Nice. Yeah, that would be cool. So thanks again to DJ Devin. I will put the code that I have out on GitHub, and I'm sure this will continue to evolve as more people get it and get it built and play with it. I know I intend to tinker with the code a bit more as well, so I'll keep updating the versions I've got out there on GitHub. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope everyone has a good day. Hope everybody had a good holiday again, and upcoming, hope everyone has a good New Year's. hopefully you get to enjoy some time off or some time with family and friends, just doing whatever you're interested in or relaxing or whatever you want. Hopefully you're getting a chance to do that. If so, I definitely appreciate you choosing to watch me for some of it. I will catch you next time. I don't exactly know for sure when I'll be back. Probably will be back on the deep dive, be back for the deep dive on Friday, but I'm sure I will probably pop in on my own stream here sometime before that to play with this or play with some other stuff sometime before that, but don't know when. Any which way, though, appreciate you all, and yeah, just again, I hope everybody has a good day, so I'll catch you next time. Thanks.